What's going on? Today we're going to talk about the lunge. So the lunge is a bread and butter exercise, one that you will find in almost every program out there. So it's important that we do it well, and at the same time, if you're suffering from any sort of like knee pain, hip pain, lower back issues, there's a couple things that I want to point out here that are going to save you from any discomfort and maybe make those things go away, which is probably super useful for you. So let's talk about first where we're going to start from. First, when we want to identify how to do the lunge, we have to have a platform to learn it from and to always come back to that's going to help us troubleshoot when things aren't going right. So what that is actually one of the lunging movements, which is the split squat, aka the stationary lunge. So for this one, you're going to set up in this 90-90 position, so 90 degrees to the front knee, 90 to the back knee. I'm going to plant my back toe, and I'm going to make sure that I have a little bit of forward knee travel, so the kneecap is kind of lined up with the front of the toe. So I have this sort of angle here between my shin and the top of my leg. So it's kind of like an arrow. So from there, the thing that's going to tell me if I'm in a good position or not is going to be if this shin angle is really similar to my upper body angle. So things that you want to watch out for is you don't want to end up back here, because this is low back ache city, or way over here because this takes all the emphasis out of the glute. Okay, so gotta match these angles pretty close. Each foot is lined up with each respective hip, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure to drive through this front leg, through my whole foot, to actually stand up. Hands can be on the hips, can be at your side, your choice. So from here, I'm gonna drive up. I'm right on the tip of the toe, and then I'm gonna drop the back knee, come back down, and drive back up to the start. Really important to make sure that we're on the tip of the toe. If that foot comes down, we get a lot of seesawing action. You might find it really hard to stay on that whole foot. So really important that you find that top position, back toe, and then you're set. So that's the split squat, aka stationary lunge. Going from here, we come back to this 90-90 position. The next stage up from here would be the reverse lunge. So now we start to add some movement. So with the reverse lunge, what I'm gonna do is I am going to step up, have both feet lined up. This is my start. Then I'm gonna step back, drop the back knee, push back to the start position. There we go. Since we have a platform to start from, it's easy to progress to the next stage. If I want to go do a forward lunge, which is probably one of the most common variations that you'll see, is again, setting up in our 90-90 position. I'm just gonna go in the opposite direction. So to start myself off, push. Now, got my feet lined up. I'm gonna take a forward step, try to get back to that same position. Drop the back knee, push. There we go, we have a forward lunge. Things to watch out with the forward lunge is it's gonna have the most chance of creating some distress to the knee. Just because there's speed involved, you gotta brake on the way down. It's super important that you are good at the split squat and the reverse lunge before you sort of progress to the forward lunge. They also have different purposes. So the forward lunge, you're gonna get a lot more quad. The reverse lunge, you're typically gonna get a bit more hamstring. It uses the quad, hamstrings, glutes, the hip, external rotators. They're all involved just to different degrees. So you kind of choose the movement based on what you're trying to accomplish. But at the same time, the number one thing that's important to use as a filter to all that, if it causes you pain, it's probably not the right movement for you right now. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, ways that you can modify any of these movements are typically going to be not going as deep. So, example, split squat. If we do not let ourselves drop this far, then obviously it's going to be a little bit easier. You can even use an object. I use this pillow, it's actually a pretty bad example of this, but just to give an idea, I can cut the distance by just having something underneath my knee. So boom, a little easier for me. You could also use something to support yourself. So only with a split squat, because if you cannot do a split squat, then you probably shouldn't be progressing to the reverse lunge or the forward lunge or any other lunging variation. You might stick with something like a step up. But we could use something to help provide some stability so that we can still accomplish this movement and get a little bit of single leg work that doesn't require a step. All right, hopefully that helps. That is the lunge 101. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, good luck. Bring it.